session for one of my patrons. So I'm going to be sharing psychic wisdom and energy healing. If any of you are interested in exploring my Patreon community, you can do so at patreon.com/Abbey Normal's Wisdom Quest. All right, so mini sessions, there aren't any specific goals. I'm going to go as guided by spirit. Thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you today and for being part of my Patreon community. And thank you so much for sharing here on YouTube. So I'm going to relax and get tuned in, and we will see what comes up for you. Okay, here we go. All right, there's the experience of movement, like I'm walking around. However, I feel like I have no body. I mean, there's a lot to the experience of being invisible. There's a lot to the experience of how do I want to define this? You ever feel just simply far away from yourself? Maybe your mind just kind of moves to a distant area and you're just far away from yourself. Does that mean you're invisible? Where's your consciousness actually at? Where are you? Where are you? You could say, I'm here, I'm present, but are you fully here? Are you fully present? Or are you distant? Are you beyond? And you are somewhere out there. So back to the experience of, it's like I'm walking around, but I'm not, there's something missing here to what feels like being physical, being present, being in the moment. I'm going to create something here for you, okay? An experience. And then I want to bring you into this experience, and then we're going to go through this experience together. Okay. It's weird. So the experience of moving around, walking around, that starts to become a form. And it looks like, Rocky and Bullwinkle? Wasn't it Bullwinkle that was the moose? It looks like a moose man, okay? And the moose man is just sort of, he has humongous antlers. And he's just walking around kind of like an egg-shaped room. It just doesn't have a lot of space. I can imagine the antlers make it a little bit more difficult to, I mean, you only have so much room with all those antlers in the way, It's just like, they're just so wide. They take up a lot of space. So you pretty much can only like pace down the center, back and forth. This feels sad. This egg-shaped room starts to feel like a teardrop. Everything is looking teal in color. It's more vibrantly blue than greenish blue. It's very pretty color, and there's grains in it, so there's texture to the way it looks. And I'm bringing you into the experience with Bullwinkle. Pacing, but you can't really turn around. I mean, and we're in the teardrop. So I'm going to create gravity, and the teardrop is going to fall and hit the ground, okay? You aren't wanting to follow along, but yet you are following along, and I experience how this is shifting energetically for your heart, specifically your heart and your relationship with being present, okay, with life. You aren't holding me back from what I'm doing here. You aren't telling me, no, I don't like this or anything like that. You're kind of just letting it happen. I'm going to put your consciousness into the moose, okay, persona. All right. There's a much larger you that represents a divine feminine energy. And everything is a dark world, all right? So where the teardrop falls, it splashes and there's no real definition because it's all black everywhere. It does feel like we're in a rocky environment, okay? Not like the squirrel. It's literally just the ground, the terrain, black rock everywhere. And when you become the moose, Bullwinkle, you're more animated. It's hard for me to experience that animated you because so much of the divine feminine sorrow you is felt by me, okay? And I feel like I'm more this larger you than I can get down to the level of this excited moose you. And the moose is excited because the walls broke and the moose now is set free. The moose can explore. The moose can breathe. The moose has room. Doesn't matter how big the antlers are. Doesn't matter because you can go anywhere you want to go, even if everything is black and you can see nothing. At least you are free to go wherever you want to go in the nothing. At least there's more to life now than there was before. Feeling confined is a very small world, but feeling like you could walk 1,000 miles in any direction, even if the only thing you can see is black, it is more freeing of the soul. And I'm scratching my head about this. I say, well, I'm excited for you to feel so much freedom. I hope that lasts. And this divine feminine you is represents some kind of, like, it represents a sorrow, but there's an element of control here as well. And I feel this persona is then holding you back. Like she's casting the darkness here. She's a part of the terrain, the blackness that you'll never see anything else. And until she shifts vibrationally, it's going to remain like this. I give this moose time, all right? Time to wander the dark for 1,000,000 years. And what's interesting is you still feel free. What you did is you worked on the way you felt more than the way things were perceived outside of you. You decided to work on the way things feel inside yourself. You decided to go inside. And you forgot about the outside world. And I see you becoming a shell yourself, and you just lie on the ground because it doesn't matter to go anywhere is part of the external experience, but you want an internal experience. So you don't need to move to have one of those. And I see that this divine feminine figure continues to watch the moose, Bullwinkle, okay? And I see she's blindfolded, and then she has the scales like she represents judgment, okay? Justice? Is it justice or judgment? I think it's justice. But she is evaluating the balance of things. But I feel like she herself is out of balance. So how can she represent justice, which is balance, if she herself is out of balance? How will she be able to really be a representation of balance if she herself is out of balance? I feel like I need to keep repeating this for some reason. The moose seems to be more aware than she is able to be aware of herself or to stop her condition. She can't seem to stop her condition. And the moose decides it is time for a new life. And the body starts to deteriorate. And what ends up happening is the soul becomes the terrain. And once the soul becomes the terrain, it becomes her. And she literally is like a Statue of Liberty, but with the balance scales, okay? And so that soul starts to merge with her. And something feels now complete in her heart, and the statue cracks down the center and she breaks. And she falls apart. And she's made of water, actually. But the water holds its, it holds its composure. It's upright. It's not splashing to the ground. It's actually a form of water. And it's not frozen. It can be in motion if it chooses. And I see something breaking within yourself in this hard structure, and you're starting to let the light come into you, okay? Because there's only so long you can live in this dark place before it's time for you to live in a place of light, you know? It's like there's time for everything. And I do feel a shift in your heart, and it's not about whatever this pain is. It's about receiving the light to nurture, and there is now no more pain, okay? And the light breaks through this space. It literally breaks through this space, and it opens it up almost like your heart had a shell around it. And it breaks that shell off, and it opens your heart up to the light. The light opens your heart up to the light as you choose to receive it now, okay? And you're like an essence. You're water, but you're like an essence. You're an energy. You're like the nougat on the inside. some like awesome chocolate or something. You're like the yummy nougat. You're the essence. I'm just getting flashbacks of the Dark Crystal. Essence, as they like fry these little things, these cute little adorable little things turn into essence to help them live longer, you know. It's a different kind of essence, but it's great though too, you know. It's clear these like, what are they called, crow people or something? I can't remember. It's clear they like the essence, and the essence that you represent here is wonderful. It's great. And the light's being absorbed into you. How come there is a parallel between you and an essence that is this makes me really sad. An essence that was harming you big time. And you now are the essence. I tell you, no, don't go there. I see you as the essence that is the soul of who you are, receiving this light and rehabilitating in the light. There's an odd parallel here between an essence that is self-destructive, that you are now the essence of something self-destructive. And I encourage you to not go there, because we're at the brink of some powerful healing. If you choose to go there, you will recreate the scene, and now you're a moose stuck inside an egg, and it starts all over again. It's up to you. I highly recommend that we hold on to something optimistic and positive, because we're on the brink here of some kind of shift that's really good. You're reborn and you look beautiful, but you have this wise self-realization that you won't ever truly be set free from the essence of self-destruction. And that makes you cry. And you say the reason why is because you'll always be all that you are. Man, I feel that in my heart. It's like your divine truth. It's too burdening, man. It's too sad. and you strike this I don't know, it's like a magical pole into the ground, and it just strikes and all this energy comes out, and you represent the scales of balance and divine truth, and your eyes just glow with this intensity of who you are and your divine truth. And some of that divine truth isn't exactly pretty, and that doesn't mean that I am not whole. That I'm not whole. And I tell her that initially I felt that you were in the constructs of a sorrow you couldn't set yourself free from. Now you are telling me that that sorrow will always be a part of who you are. And by allowing that to be your divine truth, you will always be whole. Not because you want to separate that from yourself, but because that is part of your essence. This is more of a truth message, but I still feel an aching in your heart, okay? However, I feel you're literally like the light shining through you, and you stand at the brink of light and dark, okay? Well, that was interesting. Thank you for that. That was really felt, okay? It really felt, particularly in my heart, really felt. Thank you again, and thank you everybody for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day.